Sitting here today with Lindsay Schoolcraft to talk about her upcoming new album, Harrowing. First of all, really nice to meet you and get to talk to you today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just finally getting awake and full of coffee, so happy to be here.
Yeah. Um, well, the album is coming out really soon. I believe, was it next month already?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
June
So
19th, yeah.
I'm guessing anxiety and excitement are both kind of building within you.
Oh yeah, just more so excitement that it's finally coming out. I've been working on this album a long time, so it feels like it's so overdue. If I had it my way, it would have come out 2 years ago. So
Yeah, you're saying 2 years ago, so you've been basically sitting on like the music of this album for that long now, or
waiting to just get it done for what feels like the last 2 years. I feel like it was really written over 2 years ago, and then it was just kind of waiting to be done. So yeah, we've been sitting on it for a while, and I'm just glad it's done and it's finally out there and people get a chance to hear it.
yeah. You released a few tracks already.
Mhm.
It's kind of interesting to see like basically the different sounds that you're bringing with those singles. Um, was there like any particular like reason or plan you picked those specific songs? Was it like to sort of give people an idea what direction you're going, or
It was more like within our camp, like between the guys in my band, the people I was producing and writing with, we really just went with like what song are we the most excited about, right? And then we just like rated them in order. So obviously we wanted to go, you know, with Crucified as the first track because we're just the most excited about the song. It's such a heavy song, it's such a raw song, it's such an angry song. We're like, okay, like let's put that one out. And then after that, we were like, well, we want to do I Wait for You to Fall because it's such a bop, it's such a pop song, it's such a retro throwback. And then yeah, and then of course Feg was a no-brainer because that's like such a an emotional song, and we found that that one like got stuck in our heads the most. So yeah, that was just kind of the deciding process. We were just, what songs are we the most excited about to share with the world, and then from there we went ahead and did the music videos and everything.
it's been mentioned in like some of the news releases and such. You kind of hinted at it now a moment ago too that um there's a bit of a maybe a heavier note or tone to your music this time around compared to your older work. Um, even though you're still, well, quite a lot of songs still have that kind of like cinematic, symphonic, classical
Yeah,
vibe that we kind of expect a little bit.
yeah, that'll never go away.
Since this album, you're kind of going a little bit heavier from time to time. I was kind of wondering how did you kind of manage to like balance sort of the aggression of like a heavier side and kind of a little bit more well, elegance of like the melodies and kind of classical sounds.
I mean, it just kind of, the classical element is always there. The strings, the piano, the harp, like that's always going to be there, especially sometimes like when we throw in a Gregorian chant or a choir or something. It was more decided on because I haven't done a heavy album since 2019. I did a harp album over the pandemic. I did a song on, sorry, I did an album on Patreon that was like very trip hop, dark wave, like my love of that music. It was very singer-songwriter. So I was just like, it's time to do a heavy album again. Like we have to. And I just let, there's like, I guess there's like three main people who were bringing forth the band element to this, and that would be Rocky Gray, Brian Cook, a buddy of his that he brought in, and then also Cody, who's the guitarist in my band. And I was just like, I just want just start writing riffs and whatever I think is cool, whatever I connect to, whatever makes me feel something. I'm gonna say we're gonna go with that, and we're gonna write a song around it, and that's essentially how this all came to be. It was very like I have to feel something like you gotta there's got to be a connection there. I can't just force myself to write over music that doesn't make me feel anything. That feels like so disingenuine. I don't like it. So there was quite a few songs that didn't make the cut. There was a lot of cool ideas that could have worked for other bands I can think of or other artists. But I got to pick out of I guess, the pot, the ones that I thought were the coolest, and that's pretty much everything that you hear on this album.
Yeah. Um, well, besides the classical sound that is always sort of there, on this album you have like a couple of moments that you're going into that kind of early 2000s, late 90s, like alternative vibe.
Hmm.
Um, which like brings a little bit of like, at least to me, a bit of nostalgia. Even though it still sounds like it's very much a song written right now.
That's good to
Just
hear.
kind of wondering like what of that kind of specific sound of like that period kind of connects or resonates with you kind of creatively.
I mean, it was my childhood and it was my teen years, so of course I'm going to be bringing in sounds from the late 90s, EDM, electronica, rocktronica, new metal, and then of course like the early 2000s is when I was in high school and I was really into bands like A Perfect Circle, Linkin Park, Evanescence, all of that. So it's just kind of a combination of all those sounds that I think are really cool, and I just infuse them into places on this album just to remind people where I come from.
It's great. Well, sounds like we've very much had the same musical teenage years. So
Yeah,
no wonder
definitely.
the no wonder it brought up nostalgia for me.
Awesome.
Um, for this album, you also worked with Justin and deBlieck for like the production of the
Yeah.
album. Was there like anything like that like he came with like that brought in like different perspectives or like actually like put his stamp on the album now?
Yeah, we brought him in as a co-producer on all of this because the first year we started writing these songs, which was like 2022, Rocky and Brian just weren't really available to see the songs to the finish line. And around that same time, I went out to a Motionless in White show and I was talking with Chris Motionless about it. And he's like, well, why don't you just like come work with my guy? Like he's been doing our albums. He really likes your style of music. And yeah, we connected and it was a long process, but he really took what we had and amplified it. You know what I mean? Obviously with his skill and talent and all the production, like he really brought it to the next level. Especially like we put out a standalone single called Lighthouse. And that was like the outside of a demo that turned into like the bonus track on this album about to come out. Lighthouse was kind of like the first trial run with the whole team because we had to bring in Spencer for strings and everyone was involved in this, right? So yeah, he really just helped me understand like making executive decisions very quickly, kind of like leaving your emotions at the door. In some cases, because we had this whole debacle between the two songs, I Wait for You to Fall and Cut Your Teeth, because the chorus of Cut Your Teeth was it used to be the chorus for I Wait for You to Fall, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a really weird transition, and he's like, no, like you can't do that to this song. You got to cut out this chorus, and I just didn't want to. And I was like, okay, listen, I'll compromise. Like I'll take out the chorus and we'll write a new one, but you have to let me take that chorus and write a whole new song around it because I love that chorus so much. So it was a lot of give and take and push and pull, but at the end of the day, like we made it to the finish line and I learned a lot from that process. So yeah, like it was cool to have a completely new perspective on it. I really did feel finally like a pop star. I feel like that experience is like what pop stars like Mariah Carey and the lot would go through with, like also being a main writer and a co-producer and having a vision and just infusing so much of yourself into the songs. Like, it's you got to fight for certain things and but you've also got to do a lot of compromise. So it was like a very interesting experience and I can finally say like, oh yeah, like I got like that major label superstar treatment and microdosed it through this experience in a really cool way.
I'm probably kind of nice for, well, someone that has been in the music industry for quite a bit to still basically get a new perspective of, or learn like how to look differently at things, like at this
Mm,
stage even.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I've been doing it 25 years, so I've I've done and seen it all, at this feel like I have at this point, other than like rap music. And then that whole world, I feel like I've experienced everything else.
Um, on this album, you've also worked together with someone else still. There's Krista on So Alive.
hmm
Um, how did you get to her? Like what was it that like she was the perfect fit for like to be added on this
Yeah.
track?
Yeah, she's been a dear friend for a long time and we didn't really write this album with the idea of having guest vocalists in mind. And when it came to that bridge on So Alive, it's like really, really heavy. And I was trying to write melodies over it and do like my worldly mermaid vocals over it. And I was just like trying everything to make it work. And then I was just like, this isn't working. Like I don't know what to put here. And I was like, I think maybe we should get in someone to like do their own take because I could hear there like she does put her gutturals throughout the song in like call and answer spots and I was like I think this song needs that extra dynamic of another vocalist in here who's completely different to me. And she was the first person I thought of because like she had gone through her own things and I felt like when I wrote this album I also wrote a bit of it for her, not just like what I had been through but also like what she had gone through and she's doing amazing now. I'm so happy for her. But I was just happy that, we got to bring her in and immortalize a little piece of her and she wrote all her lyrics and all her parts and absolutely crushed it and then came to our home studio here and tracked all her vocals and that was it. The rest is history. It was just really, really nice to have her on board. I think she's a fantastic vocalist and lyricist. And if you ever get a chance to see her live, she's just like unreal on stage. So yeah, it was important to represent a Hamilton girl. I'm from Hamilton now too, so it was nice to have someone from Hamilton in on that as well.
Yeah. Um, well, talking about the well, what she has been through and such, you've been describing the album as kind of like a story of survival, healing,
hmm
rebirth.
hmm
At what point did you kind of realize that the songs that you were writing weren't necessarily like separate tracks anymore, but kind of like one larger emotional narrative?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say like I was just because I said I had to take songs that like made me feel something. So I just started writing them and in 2022 and 2023, I was just kind of like, you know, what whatever comes out. I'm obviously upset about some things. I'm angry. I feel like I have some things to say. I would say it was, I guess, like after that 2 year mark when we went into year three, when I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like this should be done and out already, is when everything kind of just happened at first, like effortlessly, like the theme, the title. I looked at the songs and I was like, oh, like I'm actually telling a story here. I'm going through all the emotions of like getting myself out of a bad situation, which is like its own stages of grief. And I didn't really realize like it went from awareness to anger to hopelessness to pettiness and revenge to liberation and healing. Like I didn't even know like that was going on until I kind of like I think it was when I started loosely thinking about the track order, like what order these songs should be for the listener. And I was like, oh shoot, like there's way more here. Like it's all kind of connecting. And then from there, when I didn't plan for it to be a concept album, but when I was like realizing that moment of like, okay, there's like seven stories here that all fit together, for little areas where I couldn't quite finish the lyrics, it kind of helped me tie it all together because there's like a bigger vision. So yeah, it was really cool, but it wasn't necessarily like the plan from the start. It was just more like, I need to do a new album. I'm angry. Let's get some heavy songs going.
Um, well, a lot of the songs come kind of from a darker perspective. The album title is kind of like gives off a bit of a darker vibe.
hmm
Um, at the same time, I feel like quite some of the songs kind of, I don't know, like radiate like a strong sense of like reclaiming power or something like that.
Totally.
Was it kind of important for you that like I don't know, the songs or the whole album didn't like got trapped in the darkness it originated from?
Um, what do you mean by that? Like I'm trying to pull it together there.
Yeah,
Like,
so like you said, like it's sort of processing like bad place that you were coming from.
yeah.
It could have just easily been a whole bunch of really dark, kind of negative
Right,
like
right. Okay.
songs.
Yeah, I understand. And it's like, you have to kind of keep hope and like a light at the
Hmm.
end of the tunnel. Definitely. I mean, we all have our moments where we're dark and we're sad and we're feeling like crap. And I think it would have been really silly for me to write a song like Veg four more times just to fill up a full like 10 to 11 song album. I think that would have been really silly. Yeah, I'd say even though the song So Alive is like really angry, it is, if you really listen to the lyrics, it's really about taking back your power. And the chorus is actually, it's a chorus I wrote in like my early 20s, that I just never gave up on. It was strange because when Rocky was a main player in writing that song, and when he sent me the demo, I was like, oh, I think it's like finally time for me to let this course be. And it was actually a course that I wrote like post breakup in my early 20s, now I'm more alive than I was before I met you, kind of thing. And I thought that was cool. And then, of course, that even though Chase the Dark, the song that follows, it's the outro track on the album, it is a very sad song. It does really state like, I've moved on and you're not in my life anymore and I honor the time we had together kind of thing. So, yeah, it was important to kind of, there's that awareness and then you're just like climbing a mountain through all these different chapters of emotion and ultimately like you get to the top and you can see everything for what it is and there's definitely a positive side to it. Um yeah, because I usually write songs about like when things are at their worst and I'm going through it, but I think it's important to celebrate and write the songs after when you're like you've reclaimed your power and you know who you are again and you can move on with your life. And I think that's super cool. I definitely didn't abandon that aspect at all on this one.
You were earlier mentioning like the like when you were looking at your songs and like trying to put them in order and such that you realize you were writing about different stages of basically grief.
hmm
Um, Made me kind of wonder, was there like any stage of those that was for you kind of the hardest to write honestly about?
Yeah, definitely. Vague being about hopelessness, I think was the hardest one to write because it's that moment where you have to leave this situation, but you don't know how, you don't know where to begin. And you know what life is going to be like if you stay, but you have that hope that if you leave, there's something beyond there for you. You just don't know what it looks like left. Yeah, like you can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it. So you, there's that weight of almost just being trapped, and you're just kind of stuck in your own head, and really, it's just taking those steps to pull yourself out of it. That was definitely the hardest one to work through. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to perform it live because when I was demoing it and tracking it, like it made me really emotional. And then same thing with Chase the Dark. I think it's like it's kind of this like beautiful love letter to a love that wasn't good for you, I guess is the way, you know what I mean? It's just like I like thanks for the experience, not really thanks for the memories, just thanks for making me smarter and stronger. Like that there's no better way of putting it. And that one always kind of gets to me too. It's really personal. So yeah.
Almost though anyway be if you're writing something so like personal and kind of like cathartic and such, it's I presume anyway, that it can get quite tricky.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. You were also mentioning that it kind of turned into somewhat of a concept album. Um, Kind of makes sense that the visual presentation of the whole album feels very um intentional. Like you're clearly going in a certain direction with like the artwork and colors and such.
hmm
How important was that to you when you were like building the world of like this album?
I think it was around the time when I was like, oh, like maybe there's this whole tied together story here. And I hadn't really gotten the album name yet, but I was scrolling late at night online as everyone does. And I follow a lot of art accounts that I like. And Alphonse Moha, he's all his stuff is in public domain now. Like he was alive and making art almost like 150 years ago. So I thought I had known all of his artworks. I thought I was a super fan. And then that artwork with the Angel of Death coming for the woman who's died popped up on my feed. And I was like, I can't believe I've never seen this before. Like, it's unreal. So I went down the rabbit hole of finding like a high res scan in public domain. And I just decided this is perfect, you know, because the angel's coming to take this person, but he never really, Alphonse never really like left an essay or description of what this painting meant. It really was like described by scholars, art scholars, and it had a lot to do with like it was the cover of a magazine back in 18, I want to say 1897 or it was the 80s, their 80s, the 1880s. Um, and it was just there for like the turning over of the new year and there's this beautiful writing for it, but really it was just about rebirth, you know, just like starting anew and, you know, that's something that you can give to yourself. You kind of become like your own angel of death and you honor your old self and say goodbye and then there's a rebirth. So I was like, yeah, this is the album cover like period. Like I don't want anything else. And I'm very lucky. Like, you know, Zenwar actually took it and he removed the border of the magazine and he turned it into the artwork. And anyone who's getting a copy of the vinyl or the CD, I think they're gonna love it. It's really beautiful. Like it all ties together. And I'm glad that, you know, I randomly found that piece of art while doom scrolling one night. It's like the only positive thing to come out of doom scrolling. But yeah, and then around the time the title Harrowing came up, because yeah, it was a long harrowing process to make this album. It's a long harrowing story to or scenario to get yourself out of a bad situation. But also, I went deeper into the biblical meaning of a harrowing, and it was written somewhere by some guy thousands of years ago. You can't tell I don't take scripture very seriously. And it said that the harrowing was when the angels went back down to hell to reclaim the souls that were wrongly accused of sin and claimed by Satan. And I was like, I think that's actually perfect. Because in those situations, if you're like dating a narcissist, it really feels like Satan's claimed you. If you know, believe in Satan or Santa Claus or whatever. But like it feels like an evil has claimed you and you know, you you have the right to pull yourself out of that and give yourself a second chance, you know, and be kind of like your own angel to pull you out of that situation. So I was like, this is the perfect title for this album. It really, really is. So I was super stoked when I found that out. You know, a little late night deep dive into the meaning of words.
Yeah, sounds like everything really much clicked together. Like the way
Yeah.
you described where the artwork comes from and where the title then ended up coming from, it like totally makes sense with after having heard the album. So
Oh, thanks.
everything,
I'm glad to hear that.
yeah, everything really, really got together.
It did.
Um, you were mentioning that you're not sure how are you going to perform that one song live. That gets me to have you any like plans already, concrete plans already that you can share? Because I know quite often you're not
Yeah.
allowed to share much.
Oh, no, no, I can definitely say we have a hometown show
Mhm.
July 11th in Oshawa. And we're gonna play the album in full and a few of the classics. And that's kind of after this week, that's where I've got to get my head and I have to start rehearsing and toning my voice back up. And also just going through the process of, you know, I've been in the studio with these songs for so long, like translating them live is a completely different project, like entirely. It's a completely different performance and mindset, and oh my gosh, it's going to be something. So we have that, and then I can't say too much yet, but we do have some like Eastern Canadian dates later this year. So that's a plan for that. We thought we were going to tour this year, but due to the state of the world and everything that's gone on, we unfortunately can't. It's just a good idea to not put ourselves into bankruptcy or the risk of bankruptcy with everything happening. I'm sure I don't want to give you the boring laundry list, but today is May 27th of 2026. So if you're wondering what the state of the world was then, go back and check it out. Pretty neat. But we're hoping for 2027. We are. It would be really, really nice. But in the meantime, the only thing that we really have any control over is doing another album. So we have been working on another album this year and hoping to have that out next year and see people on the road. So that's the hope and the plan.
Well, hopefully, you do make it across the ocean at some point in the nearby future.
Hope so too.
Pretty,
Be so
pretty
cool.
sure, pretty sure plenty of people would appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Eventually.
yeah, I guess we're about there on our time.
Hmm.
Um, well, lots of luck with the album coming out. Hopefully, there's a bunch of people picking it up and really liking it. Um, and maybe find some, I don't know, some solace or something to um, get through some emotions or something like that.
I hope so.
Um, yeah. And yeah, like I said just a moment ago, hopefully to see you sometime soon in real life on the stage.
Yes, I hope so
Um,
too.
yeah. Is
Yeah.
there anything at all that you would like to add still to whoever ends up checking this out?
I mean, thank you to everyone and anyone who's listened, who's got a copy, who bought merch, who still cares about what I'm putting out and what I have to say and cares to keep me, in your algorithm on social media. It means a lot. And um, myself and my band are really, really grateful.
Yeah.
And thank
All
you to you.
right.
Thank you for your time today. It's been a
Yeah,
lovely
no
chat.
problem. Yeah. Well, thanks for your time and yeah, again, lots of luck with everything.
Thank you.
Hopefully talk to you soon again.
I hope so too.